Hey guys, today I just have a couple of quick collecting tips to help you store some of your games, in particular Game Boy games and other handheld games, as well as TurboGrafx and Sega Genesis. So, I'll start with the Game Boy games. And for those of you that have loose Game Boy games, you know that it's a pain to store those things. They look ugly no matter like where you put them. They don't stack up right, they always, fall over and everything. They just don't look right unless you're storing them some way. So my first tip is go to your local Target or Walmart or anywhere that has like little Tupperware sections and try and get something like this. It's a cheap plastic container that fits the Game Boy games perfectly, as you see here. Nothing too fancy, and you'd be surprised what you'd find in your local Target. This fits it perfect. You can file through them really easily, and it fits the Game Boy games perfect. This is what I store mine in right now, but I'll show you guys in a second another option that you can use for Game Boy games. And it fits all handheld games. Here's some Game Boy Advance games, Neo Geo Pocket. So go to your local Target, Walmart, whatever, Kmart. Try and find some small Tupperware containers like this that you can stick some cartridges in. But let me show you one that's much more appealing, and I think you guys will like a lot more. Now I'm sure at one point all of you have collected some kind of trading card. Pokemon cards, sports cards, whatever. So go get your binders, take out all those old cards, sell them on eBay or something, and take the sheets, the card sheets like this, that would go in the binder, and use these as game storage. These are actually excellent storage for Game Boy games. You just take a game, and it slides right in, and there you go. So let me show you a sheet that's fully filled up with classic Game Boy games. Look at that. And then you can hang that on your wall. I mean, I wouldn't recommend putting it in a binder, unless it's a huge binder, because these are pretty bulky once you have them all packed in here. But this looks great when you hang it up on a wall. Use a tack, use some double-sided sticky tape, and hang these up along your wall. If you have a lot of Game Boy games, you can make a pretty big display of these. And let me just show you the other page here, which I put in a couple of different kinds of games. Up here, the TurboGrafx cue cards. These work perfect for these. I mean, if you have loose TurboGrafx games, which I'm not a big fan of, I want the cases for those. But this is perfect to put the TurboGrafx games in up top here. If you have loose Game Boy Advance games, 2 can go into one slot there. And then on the bottom here I have some Neo Geo Pocket Color games. But that just shows you some of the possibilities you can do with these sports card holder pages that you probably have sitting around in your house. If not, go to a sports card store, and get these things for really cheap. It's a great way to display some of your handheld games. Alright, so this next one I'm going to show you might be a bit tougher to get a hold of, but if you guys have one of these already, or if you go to yard sales or like a Goodwill, Salvation Army, or eBay, if you can pick up something like this that used to hold cassette tapes, okay? If you can find one of these for cassette tapes, obviously they're not going to sell them in stores anymore unless you get really lucky and find a place selling one of these. But this is actually excellent storage for Sega Genesis cartridges. Look at that. Slides right in there. Alright, so I just took some of my Genesis carts and I stuck them in there just to give you an idea of what it looks like after you start filling it up a little bit. And they're very easy to get to. Just grab one, pull it right out, goes right back in nice and easy. Now, of course, this here is fitted to fit cassette tapes perfectly. Some of them might be sized a little bit differently, like this one here in particular cannot fit Sega 32X games. It can fit Sega Master System games, but they have no end label. It can't fit Nintendo 64 games, but if you can find one that's sized a little bit differently, hey, go at it. Put some more cartridge games in there. So there you go, guys. That's just a very quick collecting tips video I wanted to put together for you. Kind of get your brains brewing on some different creative ways to store some of your games. If you guys come up with some good ideas on how to store some cartridges or whatever, post it in the comments below. Let us know. Thanks for watching.